Okay, one thing I always prided myself on when I was working in sports radio was being able to be the first one to admit, hey, I was wrong. No problem doing it. I was always annoyed at the hosts, and I think we all know who I'm talking about, who just refused to admit that they were wrong. It's fine. You're talking sports for a living. You're probably going to be wrong 50% of the time. Happens. So let's take a look at my prediction for UFC 314 when it comes to Paddy Pimblett and Michael Chandler.
Like you want this dude to be the next Connor because obviously Connor is checked out and he's probably never going to fight again. You're not going to get that though. I think there's levels to this game. I think that Paddy's going to find that out, and I think he's going to get absolutely destroyed. And
Oh, that guy was an idiot. One-way traffic. Yeah, okay. Good job, casual. Yeah, hand up, I was so wrong on this one. I did not see that coming. Paddy Pimblett went in and took Michael Chandler to the woodshed. And you know, I did the whole soapbox thing of like, I don't want to see Michael Chandler with his contrived speech of "Are you not entertained?" and Conor McGregor call out and see you at the top. I didn't want to see it, and I didn't see it. And I bet Michael Chandler to win this fight. Now, granted, I only bet $18 because I don't have these casino money, but I was so happy to donate that $18. Like I felt like I paid the $18 to not get that speech. Now I'm not the biggest Paddy Pimblett fan, but this dude's progression since he's come into the UFC has been astounding, and now you can't ignore it. And I was ignoring it. Hand up, I was ignoring it big time. What Paddy Pimblett did at UFC 314 was proof positive of guys continuing to grow. And I think the biggest thing you look at is the Jared Gordon fight. Because a lot of people, and myself included, thought that Paddy Pimblett lost that fight. I am convinced Paddy Pimblett lost that fight. But I feel like that Jared Gordon fight was a wake-up call for Paddy Pimblett. Like a big wake-up call. Because up until that point, he had fought tomato cans. Like he had fought Luigi Vanderrama. He had fought, Jordan Levitt. Like a lot of these guys that have been like, I don't want to say handpicked because Jordan Levitt's a good grappler, but he wasn't at the level of Paddy Pimblett. And then he got Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon, I think, won that fight. And then there was a wake-up call to Paddy Pimblett of like, oh, hey, maybe I shouldn't walk around at like 200 pounds and spend the majority of my camp trying to get in shape. Maybe I should take this thing a little bit more seriously if I want to make a title run, and he has done that. And credit to Paddy Pimblett. Credit to Paddy Pimblett and then some. Because I was wrong and I'm man enough to admit it. And I know that there'll probably be some people in the comment section that I will ignore because I try not to read comments. But I know there'll be some people in the comment section that will do a victory lap and be like, oh, well, yeah, okay, people are sleeping on Paddy. That's fine. Look, if you want to be a barstool bro and act like Paddy Pimblett was always this guy, I'm going to pat you on the head and tell you, great job. I don't think he was always this guy. I think in the past year, he's become this guy. I think Paddy Pimblett would have been murked by Ilia Topuria had they fought that fight when Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett got into it at, I think, the UFC Apex in the Performance Institute. Or it might have been the hotel. But when they got into it, I think Ilia Topuria would have absolutely murked Paddy Pimblett. And the UFC was very smart not to make that fight because it would have ruined a future cash cow, which Paddy Pimblett is. I don't think Paddy Pimblett would beat Ilia Topuria now, but it would be a lot closer than it was. And that's a credit to Paddy Pimblett. Huge credit. Now, where does Michael Chandler go from here? I have no idea, and I don't care. Michael Chandler's cornball, and the question then becomes, like, was Michael Chandler ever this good? Or was Michael Chandler just, like, he beat Dan Hooker on a bad night, and then he's proceeded to get his ass whooped in just about every single fight? That's a possibility. Before, I went into it thinking, like, Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor, not the best matchup for Conor McGregor. I kind of like Michael Chandler in that, mainly because Conor McGregor has taken so much time off. Now I'm like, Michael Chandler's probably washed. And I think Paddy Pimblett just put the dagger in any chance that Michael Chandler ever gets back. Ever gets to the top. See you at the top. Where's the top? I don't know who you're talking to. Because you're not there. And I'm certainly not at the top. I'm not there. So credit to Paddy Pimblett, big time on that one. I don't know where exactly he goes from here. There's a lot of good fights. He called out Charles Oliveira. I like that fight a lot. I love the fact that he got into it with Colby Covington. Colby, you're a 170er. Like, what are you doing trying to like pick a fight with a 155er? You fight at 170, dude. Now, I know that, Colby, you need a win, but that's cheesy. And, yeah, I mean, Paddy basically told him as much. Like, dude, shut up. This is contrived, this act that you do. Other than that, Volk did Volk things. Not really about that. It's more about credit where credit is due. Paddy Pimblett was on. I was not. I mean, my takes for the card weren't great. I had Volk right. I had Yair right. But I think that's it. I think those are the only two. So this fight coming up is really, really good this weekend. You've got Corey Sandhagen fighting. Love Corey Sandhagen. Like, that should be a fight on the next pay-per-view on 315. It's not. 315 is not a good card at all. That's a Buffalo Wild Wings card if there ever was one. But it was an eye-opening performance from Paddy Pimblett. That's the point. I'm man enough to admit it. I think that a lot of times people will hide from when they get stuff wrong, and I understand it because I think in sports media, the reason why people just ignore when they get wrong is because even when they admit, hey, I made a mistake, I got this wrong, it's okay, you will still have people out there going like, like they're Nelson from The Simpsons. And Nick Wright's a good example of that. Like, Nick Wright from Fox Sports, say what you will about him, he will admit when he's wrong. He will own it. And yet you'll still have people pointing out, hey, what'd you think about Saquon signing with the Eagles? It's like, dude, he addressed that months ago. Like, he said he was wrong. And it gets annoying. And because it gets annoying, people go like, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this. Like, even when I admit I'm wrong, I can't win. And I'm not asking to quote-unquote win, but I just think it's important to be accountable. And when I say really, really dumb stuff, like, oh, yeah, it'll be one-way trap for Michael Chandler, I think it's important to get on here and say, oh, yeah, no, I didn't really know what I was talking about that night. Other than that, I got nothing UFC-wise.